So many people are scared of wanting to win because they think it means that they love success more than they love God. But you don't just dishonor God by wanting to win. You dishonor God by choosing failure. My name is Carver, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to win, but I want to do it God's way. And so if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can love Jesus while being ambitious. So where do we start? Well, the first thing that we do is we define what ambition actually means. And ambition simply means desire to succeed. Like when someone says, I have ambition, what they're really saying is, I have goals. Like I have dreams. I want to succeed. I want to do big things. I don't want to just like sit around and do nothing. I don't want to waste my life. I have all of these things that I want to accomplish in life. And so I enjoy the grind. I enjoy moving towards it. I enjoy waking up in the morning and putting effort towards a thing so that I can try and, quote, win. Now, the problem isn't inside of ambition itself. In fact, I have a couple verses here, and the verses go into two buckets in the Bible. You have ambition, and then you have selfish ambition. Now, right off the bat, before I even read the verses, why would they go through the trouble of actually specifying what kind of ambition is not good unless there was a good type of ambition? Like, straight up. You only have to say selfish ambition if there is a type of ambition that is not selfish. Meaning, if they're saying, hey, no selfish ambition, that means that whatever the non-type of selfish ambition is the type that we would aim for. So it says right here, Philippians 2:3-4, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. So if we were to just think of like which version of this is selfish ambition, well, it's conceit, being thinking of yourself more than others. The reversal is the very next verse, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves, not looking to his own interest. Look to your own interest, selfish ambition, but also to the interests of others, non-selfish ambition. James 3:14-16, but if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder. Meaning, if you have selfish ambition, which is thinking about yourself over others, that's where all of this demonic, unspiritual, earthly things come from. How do you get rid of that? You flip it. You count others more significant than yourself. And you are ambitious, the desire to succeed in putting others above yourself. That's how you have proper ambition. And then, just to actually confirm this, Romans 15:20 says, and thus I make it my ambition to preach the gospel. So that's pretty cold cut there. I mean, he's literally saying, I want to succeed in preaching the gospel. So there you go. So you have selfish ambition, which is like, I'm only going to think about my goals, myself, what I want. I want to win for me, at any expense. Versus the desire to succeed or the wanting to be ambitious to put others first. And so what are we talking about here? What we're talking about is ambition is not the problem. The aim of the ambition is the problem. Are you aiming to yourself? Are you aiming to others? Are you aiming to yourself or are you aiming to God? So this is redefining what it means to succeed. This is redefining what it means to win. When people say, I want to win, it used to disgust me. Oh, the Bible is just about winning for you? What about connection? What about loving others? What about dying to yourself daily? But then I realized I was just defining win, quote, win, the worldly way, which is I want to beat you. But the Bible doesn't say not to win. It says run your race. The Bible redefines what winning is. What does it mean to win in the Bible? Well, it means to be obedient to God, first and foremost. And what does that mean? To love others. That's winning. So, if you have the desire to win, meaning you're ambitious, not selfishly ambitious, just ambitious for God, that's a good thing. You should absolutely be ambitious for God. I mean, think of the alternative. You think God's up there going, man, that Carver guy, that Joe guy, that Jack guy, I mean, desire to succeed. What? No. I'm gonna tell you to go make disciples, but I want you to not try. In fact, I don't want you to even want to succeed. I just want you to kind of like meh it, just don't make it too big. Don't be too ambitious. Don't do it at scale. Don't try to do it with efficiency. Don't do the whole hustle grind thing. Don't work hard. Don't do any of that stuff. Just kind of like, just meh it. Of course not. The difference is, what are you doing it for? What are you aiming towards? That's what matters. And that's what we're going to get into. It's like, what's your priority? Okay. So I'm going to write priority down and we're going to define priority. What is a priority? A priority is literally your God. That's all it is. So if you were to think about, what does God mean? What is a God? God, people think like God is this person in the sky, and it's like something that you have a relationship with, and it knows you by name, and that is true if you are a Christ follower, like just straight up. However, if you do not believe in God, like, not that he won't exist, he's still there, because reality doesn't care how you feel. But let's just assume that you're an atheist and you don't believe in God. Well, something is still making your decisions, meaning you still sacrifice for something. You still aim towards something. Some type of goal or filter or quote win or quote success is determining how you filter life, how you make decisions. And whatever you sacrifice for is what your altar is, right? That's what your God is. So God, for me, is big G, like Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, amen. But for you, it may be little g. It may be like, I just want to make more money, or I just want to, be the biggest dude in the world and get jacked. I mean, take your pick. But whatever that thing is how you're going to filter your entire life. So like, if your idea is like, I just want to make more money, you're going to sacrifice in correlation to that desire because that's your aim, right? So the aim is, I want to make more money versus I want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix, requires a different sacrifice. Meaning the type of investments that you make and the type of sacrifices that you make are different depending on what the goal is. So the goal actually becomes your moral compass, your moral database, because it tells you what is worth sacrificing and what is worth keeping. Those are value propositions. When the Bible says, hey, don't lie, what it's saying is you should value the truth more than you should value fabricating reality. That's a value proposition. Sacrifice the lie, invest in the truth. Say no to falsities, say yes to honesty. It's telling you what to sacrifice and what to aim towards. Same thing with do not murder. I'm using extremes, but do not murder. Hey, don't kill other people. Sacrifice your anger and your rage and your desire to do whatever it is you're about to do so that you can value life. It's a value proposition. He's saying sacrifice one thing because this other thing is more worth it. Well, whatever your God is, big G or little g, is going to determine what is worth sacrificing. So when people are like, hey, you're sacrificing the wrong things, it's like, no, I just have different goals than you. I have different aims than you. My aims require different investments and different sacrifices. And it makes sense for my filter because what I'm aiming at is different than you. So when someone says, no, this is the right way, it's like, for you, for me, this is the right way. Now, the problem is if you are aiming towards something and the priority is wrong, and this is specific to Christians now, the priority is wrong, you're going to make the wrong sacrifices because you have the wrong priority, meaning you have two guys, you have two Christians. Let's say this. This is guy one. So this is guy one. This is guy two. Guy one just loves money, but he's also a Christian. So money on top, Christ on bottom. This guy, the second guy, loves Christ, but he also has money. So they're both rich and they both love Christ. But the first guy loves money more than Christ, meaning if you were to think about what his aim is, what is his real aim? What is his priority? Well, his priority is money. What is he going to sacrifice first? If he had to. Most times you don't have to. Most times they don't contradict each other. Most times you can do both, You have enough money to give the tithe. It's not going to be a big thing. But what if God comes up to you and says, hey, I want you to follow me, and I want you to give up everything that you own and come with me? You might be the guy that walks away sad. That actually happened in the Bible. There's a rich guy that came up to Jesus and was like, what do I need to do? And Jesus was like, give away everything and follow me. And the guy walked away sad because why? Because his priority was money over Christ. So they were coinciding. Everything was going well. Excited. Hey, how do I follow you? He said, give up the thing that you value most for me. And the guy was like, can't do it. So to him, he made the right call because he values money more. So he sacrificed Christ, literally. But to somebody who loves Christ, if God says, Christ topmost, Christ is the priority. And he goes up to Christ and says, God, what do I do for you? Give everything away. He gives all of his money away and he follows Christ. Why? Because whoever is the priority, whoever is the aim, whoever is the top value, who is worth the most, that's what's going to determine what's worth investing in and what's worth sacrificing. It literally filters your morality. You cannot strip morality away from the framework. People think that it's like, oh, you have the things that are success and then you have the morality. And it's like, no, they are together because whatever your aim is decides what is worth sacrificing and what is worth investing in. And that decision is a value proposition in and of itself. Fight me. Like literally. So where do we go from here? I'm going to get really technical and then we're going to move on. So we have intentions. We have attention. This is really technical. I just want to warn you, but we're getting into the weeds. And then we have attend. All of these are from the same root word. And I think it's tendir, but it means to stretch towards, okay? Intentions are the heart. Attention is the mind. Attend is the body. What do I mean? So intention is like, what are your aim? If I intend to hurt you, I will say hurtful things because I'm aiming to hurt you. If I intend to make you feel good, I will say nice things because I intend to make you feel good. Attention is where am I focusing, right? So let me write these down actually. So aim. Attention is where am I focusing? So where is my attention going to? What am I looking at? What am I thinking about? And the body is what you're tending to. So it's like, tending to a fire. It's physical. So why these are different? Well, you can tend to one thing and pay attention to another. I mow and listen to podcasts all the time. A lot of people will be sitting in a room with people, but they'll be on their phone. So they're physically in one place, but they're mentally in another. So focus and attention are not always separate. In fact, half of learning is putting your attention on one thing until it becomes muscle memory and becomes a part of the body. Then you tend to that while you focus on doing something else. Intentions are the aim. So if we were to box just this part, meaning attention and attend, the body and the mind, the focus and the physical, those parts are actually ambition. That's the part that gets carried out. Because if you put your attention on something and you attend to something day after day after day after day, mind on something, body doing something, you're focused, you're doing all of the physical things that it takes to actually make it happen. Someone will look at you and be like, dude, that guy's ambitious. That is an ambitious man, right? The problem is not the ambition itself. It's not the attention or the attend, the mind or the body. It's the intention, because that's where the value proposition lies. That's where your aim is. Are you doing it to be selfish, or are you doing it to be selfless? Are you doing it for yourself? Or are you doing it for God? That's all intention. And it changes what the ambition looks like. And let me give you an example. If I were to say, hey, I love your shirt, your first gut instinct would be like, oh, thanks, dude. That's nice. And you might think, what a good guy, right? My ambition is to be on your behalf, to help you succeed, make you feel good. But then you realize 2 weeks later that the only reason I said that I liked your shirt was because I wanted something from you and I was trying to butter you up, right? It's the difference between compliments and flattery. What was the difference though? Well, it was my intention. Well, the frame of it was the same. It looked exactly the same. Same words, same follow through. My tonality was the same. The way I moved my body was the same. Everything was the same. The only different was my intent. But it changed the way that you saw the entire frame. Intentions matter. Okay? So you look at 2 guys, Christian with money who's also a Christian. Looks the same. Only God knows the heart. Only God knows the intention. So you have to be careful what you're aiming for. And that's why it's so easy for people to look at Christians with money and say, hey, all you care about is money. All you care about is, your riches and your success. And it's like, well, that's because that's all you see. You can't see my heart. I can't even see my heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like only God sees the heart. So that's between them and God. Just like, stop worrying about it. Focus on yourself. But then you have to be like, okay, if I can't even see my heart, how do I know if I have the right intentions? So I'm gonna give you a couple arguments for this. One, you don't. You have to ask God to cleanse your heart. In fact, there's a book over here. This is Dangerous Prayers by Craig Groeschel. And it's literally, one of the things in here is talking about God cleanse my heart. It's from the Psalms of David, right? You literally ask God, hey, clean my heart out, because I don't know what's going on in there. Only you know what's going on there. You have a prayer and you ask God, hey, can you clean my heart out? Because, I'm a sinful man. I'm messy. I have these dreams and goals. I don't want them to overtake me, right? And so you ask for God's help to keep you pure. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, if you're scared of who you might be if you become successful, so you never take the action, one, you're being a coward, and 2, you're not helping anybody by doing that. Here's what I mean. If you were to think of, let's say you get a whole bunch of money all of a sudden, you just get like $1 million. Do you think that it changes who you are? No, it doesn't. It amplifies who you are. It proves who you are. You were the person before, and now you're resourced. It just gave you the potential to do the things that you actually wanted to do. Meaning, if I can't afford a Ferrari, I am not thinking about, how do I get a Ferrari? If I can afford a Ferrari, all of a sudden I'm like, hey, bro, I can afford a Ferrari. I don't know. Do I want a Ferrari? I've never even thought about it before. I kind of want a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't an option, so you didn't even think about it. Now, when you get money, everything is an option. The world is your oyster, literally. And all of a sudden, you have the decision value proposition. What do I sacrifice and what do I invest? Well, that just reveals who you are even more. You didn't change. You just had more options. And so you started deciding more things. So keeping yourself small is the same thing as saying, I don't want to figure out who I actually am. But you're still, like, God is looking at you and he's going, I already know who you would be. So like, doing nothing is not helping. In fact, all it does is it actually double whammies. What it does is it makes, so imagine that you did take the $1 million and your reasoning was, I'm going to help tons of people with it. And it turns out that you just went and spent it on a whole bunch of crap. Like, you just blew it. You bought a Ferrari, bought a nice house, whatever. And you realize, oh, I'm not as good of a person as I thought I was. One, you would know that, and then you could fix it. When before you spent your entire life wondering, what if I got $1 million? What kind of person would I be? You never find out. it would be faster and actually more effective for you to figure out that you have this problem and then fix it than it would be to never go through the process at all. Like, the action of actually becoming successful will prove to you who you actually are. And then you can be like, oh, I need God more than I thought I did. And then you actually reorient yourself to what you should have been. Another way of saying it is start with bad intentions and course correct. Like, if you can have good intentions, obviously have good intentions. But not having good intentions is not a good reason to not start. Because if your ultimate goal is to honor God, and the only thing stopping you is, what if I suck? What if I'm bad? What if I don't have the right intentions? Just do it anyways. Because eventually, working with God, he said he'll finish a good work in you. So do it anyways. And then once you actually become successful, then you have all these resources that if you realize, oh wait, I am like dirty, more dirty than I thought I would be, then you could actually twist it then and help more people than you could have if you didn't. Meaning, you can only feed $1 million worth of people if you have $1 million. Now, I'm using money as like a tangible, countable thing, like, because it's easy to understand, but you could do the same thing with skills. Meaning, like, you don't even have to think about money. You could literally just think about like becoming more capable. Like, you only can feed a bunch of people who are hungry if you know how to. So if money isn't your thing and you don't want to even think about that, whatever, dude. Just become capable enough to help people. Become capable enough to be the type of person that you could feed 1,000 people if you had to. Because there's the money part, you could pay somebody to do it, or you could just become capable of actually doing the thing. So I'm trying to give you options here. But the idea is, like, we're talking about power, if we're being honest. If you're scared of power because you don't know how you're going to be able to handle it, then you're just scared. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Stop being scared. God gave us a spirit of faith, not of fear. Okay? If you're responding to fear, you are actually following the wrong God. You have the wrong aim. There's a proverb that's like, the sluggard says that there's a lion out in the town square. And what it's saying is that there's always a reason not to do things. So just get over it. Do the best that you can with what you have. Act from courage and from principle. And if you are wrong, course correct. But the only way that you will know that you are wrong is if you have done something that you can look at and go, oh, that wasn't right, and tweak it. Like, people think that they start perfect. They don't. They start really badly and they just like kind of back and forth down the hallway until they get to the end. And then they finally come to like, okay, this is what I was trying to do the whole time. And the whole time you're with God in the book like this, saying, God, fix my intentions. I'm going to keep grinding it out. I'm going to keep being ambitious. I'm going to keep trying to win, but I'm going to try to do it your way. If I lack understanding, please give me understanding. Please help me understand what it means to win God's way. I want to be ambitious because I have a desire to win. I have a desire to succeed, but I want to do it under the umbrella of Jesus Christ. What does that mean? Help me. But you can only do that through action. So if you're scared, just do something. Just start moving, okay? So let's wrap this up. How do we follow Christ and love God while also being ambitious? It's two things. Two halves. You intend to honor God, and then you focus and work. That's it. In the first one, intend to honor God is the aim, as we've said, and the focus is the grind. If you are grinding towards the wrong aim, you have failed. But you can course correct. If you are aiming without grinding, you have failed. And you fall into the I am scared, or lazy category. But when you have both, you can win God's way. You can be ambitious in loving God and loving others. You can grind for a good purpose. You can succeed without losing your soul. This is the difference between lowercase win and uppercase win. This is the difference between serving lowercase g in God or the uppercase G in God. Pick one. Aim and give it everything you have. Be ambitious. God needs people. He needs warriors. He needs people who are going to stand up and speak truth. He needs people who are going to preach the Bible. Stop sitting around. Stop being lazy. Stop waiting. Stop being scared. Say what you think. Do things. Try. We need people. We need people in God's army. Okay. I'll see you on the next one.